Greetings, listeners. I'm your host this evening, Zach Barrett, and welcome to this Twisted Gear Studios production. You are about to listen to The Call, our Call of Cthulhu actual playcast GM'd by Derek Snow. The previous report from our investigators. The mines of Swills Gullet seems to hold many secrets. Althea seems to be entranced by a stone found down there. Their pursuers chase them out of the mines just in time before they collapse, as they now stare at a horrifying visage at the edge of a lake.
You're up in this sort of the tree line, looking down over the hill. And like I said, you can see the lake. It seems that all of you have seen the six crucifixions, if you will, is what it looks like from this distance, arrayed around the beachhead, all facing toward the lake. You are a bit of a distance away, sort of looking down from the hill onto the lake. Although Althea seems to keep mentioning that the lake looks really beautiful, while the rest of you are a little bit horrified by what you see on the beachhead. Horrified enough to call for sanity rolls.
We're starting off with a sanity roll?
You're going to start off with a sanity roll.
Except for Althea?
Yes, you haven't noticed just yet.
33 out of 66.
37 out of 75.
88 out of 65.
Ooh.
Okay, I need you, Marion, to roll a D3, which is D6 halved. So you take 2 sanity loss.
Ooh.
Yeah. Whereas Agatha and Amos, you've seen a lot of weird things since you've ended up in Swills Gullet. And It seems to just be like, yes, this is just another really weird, strange thing. I don't know if it's good or bad that this isn't affecting me. But, Marion, it seems to just, creepy.
Sweet mother of God.
Althea seems to be in a bit of a daze, sort of looking out over the lake.
It's just, the light is just shining off. I've never seen anything like
What
it.
are
you talking about?
When I hear her starting to, be elated by the situation, I made sure that I was standing behind her with the gun ready. I'm going to grab the tooth or the sharp thing on her back, foot to her back, and try and kick her to the ground and remove the tooth from her.
Okay.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you talking about? What, don't you see?
What do you mean it's beautiful?
The lake. It's a beautiful lake, isn't it?
Do you not see the other thing?
This does
So
not...
am I kicking her to the ground?
Yeah, I'm just going to get right to that. So, Althea, as you sort of pan over to the beachhead, you also see, seems to be 6 figures around 8 foot high, seem to be crucified. I'm going to require you to make a sanity roll as well.
34 out of 77.
Yeah, whatever. It's just, you've seen a lot of strange things and blah, blah, blah. But just at the moment you look over and you do notice what everyone else is talking about. So if Amos would like to make a... Actually, it wouldn't really require a check. There is no... Alfie isn't trying to evade it. She doesn't see it coming. He has the element
of surprise.
He has the element of surprise. So you just reach forward and you grab a hold of the snake fang that's sort of on her back. And in order to knock her to the ground, though, that will require a brawl roll.
I figured as much.
Yeah. I believe it's just a fighting brawl. It's under fighting.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. Cool. 13 out of 40.
13 out of 40.
Ooh, you brawl me good.
You'll be brawled.
Could you also make a brawl roll as well, Althea?
Sure.
These are opposed rolls.
That is a 51 out of 25, so... No.
Yeah, so
Damn.
Pretty much what happens is you grab a hold of it and you sort of knock her down as you're wrenching it out from the way it's strapped around to her back. And you fall down, and
Okay.
you have this in your hand as you just grabbed it. And then almost immediately, as soon as it's free from her body and you're holding it, you feel piercing pain in your hands.
Oh, I dropped that fucking thing.
Yeah. As you let go, and it's stuck to your hands, you can see sort of like little spikes sticking out from the side that have penetrated your skin.
So it'd only be one hand though, because I've got
Sure.
gun in the
Yeah, not a
in
problem.
The other.
But as you try to let go, it's literally impaled onto your hand. It's just...
Ow.
Oh my god! Amos, what are you doing? And
Well, once I've kicked her to the ground, the gun's pointed at her, and I'm just trying to shake this thing off of my hand the whole time.
and I'm somewhere in between the gun and is that thing is sticking?
I'll probably be helping her up.
Also, Althea, as you're sort of looking up from the ground, and it looks like Agatha's going to come over and help you up, you hear a little voice on your shoulder say, "Oh, that's not good. He should probably drop that before it grows into him." So as Amos, you're shaking it, and it's just hurting more and more, and as you shake it, you can see the skin on the top of your hand like start pointing, like it's growing through your hand.
Ah, God damn it!
You
What the
can't-
hell did you do to me, woman?
I'm gonna say, let me help you with that before it
You
goes any
stay the
further.
You stay away from
And I'm
me.
just gonna scramble up and say, "You don't understand what's going to happen," and I'm gonna grab the bottom part of the thing. and
This
try
would
to yank
require a opposed brawler roll, whereas this is not
Well,
a surprise.
if she's
trying
coming close to me,
She
I'd
is.
like to shoot the ground and threaten her to stay away.
Okay, fair enough.
don't want her near me.
Shooting always goes off first.
Okay.
So
fine.
you do need to roll, because if you critical fumble, you could shoot her.
Okay.
Yay!
Or
Makes
somebody
perfect
else.
sense.
Or somebody else, yeah.
35 out of 60.
35 out of 60. You can put a tick on that as you move forward to try to stop, and he shoots the ground at your feet.
Oh my god,
And
Amos!
a large cracking sound of gunfire echoes out across.
Amos, what are you doing?
Don't shoot at us!
Would you
Don't
mind
shoot
helping
at
me
us.
get
Wait.
this thing off my hand? Just you stay over there.
Do we still have a machete? I have a machete.
Oh God.
She has
agree.
both.
I have
no.
2 machetes. I am currently freaking out.
Yes.
Can I take a machete from her and try to pry it off of, or break it of some sort off of his hand?
Sure. Sure.
I don't want to touch
I'm assuming
it.
Althea,
cut my hand
you
off,
are
I swear
now
to God.
staying back.
Althea's staying back because Amos just tried to, well, not tried to shoot her, but definitely made it clear that he might be willing to, so y'all get that thing out of your own hand.
Okay.
You've got a bunch of crazy shit going on here. I want nothing to do with it.
And I need to ask, how much is Marion freaking out?
I don't know, what's the freak out scale?
Enough that it might be difficult. That's why I'm asking, would it be difficult for Agatha to get a machete just
Because
off of
it's
you?
Agatha, she get it.
Okay, fair enough.
And that would actually start to calm her down that Agatha seems to be doing something, except the fact that she's doing something with a machete, which is concerning.
Fair enough. So Agatha, you grab the machete,
Okay.
and you see Agatha grab a machete, and you would like to...
I want to try and
Just be careful.
I just basically want to try to break whatever that, I'm just going to call it fiber, just for lack of a better word, that's growing through his hand, essentially separate.
So, like, so are you just smacking it to knock it out, or are you going to try to precision chop it
Just
where
smack
it's
it out.
going?
Just
Like a
smack it out.
Smack
That's
it.
my question.
Precision
Just
instrument.
pull it
I'll
the
smack
fuck
it
out.
'cause, yeah, sure, we'll try it.
Are you going to cut it, make it smaller? What are you doing?
She's just getting it out of my hand.
Yeah,
That's
basically.
just
So
get it out of my
try to
hand.
roll something for that?
I would say
Oh, God.
This is gonna be magnificent.
I will...
Gonna lose a hand.
you need to roll a fighting roll.
A fighting roll.
Yeah, so I believe most of it is based 25%. So fighting
I think
like
so,
a brawl, like a melee thing.
It's
yeah.
just like a.
Okay.
I'm just sort of looking to see if you critically fumble. That's sort of just what I'm looking at.
Okay. So,
So
alright.
don't roll 95 plus.
Oh, God. 83.
That's
25.
close, but not quite.
I need you to also roll a luck roll. Because this will matter as well.
Oh, that's both of these dice, right?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. That is a 30 out of 73.
Yeah, so that works. So what happens is you swing and you hit the fang that's sort of stuck to his hand, and it flies out and hits the ground. But the issue being that it looks like the little spikes that were growing out of it got broke off.
So they're still in his hand.
They're still in your hand.
Here, let me see that.
And it's one, and you have taken 1 wound from this so far.
I was gonna say, I'm assuming I get hurt from this.
So Althea had at least either the forensic bag or the doctor's bag, I believe. Or actually, I think I was trying to carry... I think I took the doctor's bag. Yeah, we did take the doctor's
Yeah,
bag.
you did.
There was
Barnabas.
one in the house.
Barnabas
belonged to
Jones.
Barnabas. So if that's there, I'm just going to, if it's nearby, I'll just open it up, and I want to see if there's something inside that can do an extraction, say scissors, tweezers, something to that effect.
Yeah, there is basic medical
Okay.
Inside that doctor's
So
bag.
I'll pull out whatever's in there, and I will hand it to Agatha and said, "Here, use these. You're gonna need something a little bit smaller than machete for this, probably."
I don't exactly know how to use this tool.
Pass me
Yes,
those
well,
tweezers.
I'm not willing to go near him right now, and he won't let me. So
I'm holding his hand now. Pass me those tweezers.
All right.
If
quick.
no one
I'll
else
give
knows
them
how to
to
do it,
Marion,
then
yeah.
fine. But you're only doing the tweezer bit.
I'll give them to Marion if she wants to try.
I'm gonna try to pull the.
Yeah, it's a basic first aid check.
Okay.
Do we notice, are they still continuing to grow or have they stopped?
It looks pretty much like there's little points, 4 of them, sticking out of the top of his hand, as if there's 4 like little needles
Okay, but they're not
pushed up.
continuing to grow.
And they look like once it's broken off, they're not continuing to grow.
That's a 50 out of 30.
Okay, so as you start, you do manage to pull them out, but it does cause an additional wound to your hand. And your hand is also in a lot of pain, and it looks like you don't have full use of it.
Are there bandages in that?
I'll take a look inside the doctor's bag.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's basic first aid.
There is.
I just sort of loosely wrap it around
Yeah.
his hand.
Yeah. Yep.
1920s medicine.
Yay! Just wrap it and it's good. Duct tape, man.
Fine.
There's no, painkillers, or not painkillers, what would it be
Booze?
at the time?
Got any whiskey? I'll take some of that.
There might be
Morphine?
morphine, opiates of some kind in the bag or anything.
You can roll a luck roll for that, Althea.
Sure. 70 out of 60. So that's a fail.
Sorry.
No drugs for me.
No drugs.
No drugs from the 1920s.
But right now,
for you.
as you put it, Snake Fang is just lying on the ground.
There's no evidence of the broken off bits hanging off of it. Is it just smooth?
Yeah, it's just smooth.
Oh,
Yeah. Although you do have these 4, they look like miniature versions of the fang that's on the ground. The 4 little needles, they seem to be the same, just really small
Right.
versions.
Put those down if I were you.
Toss them on the ground as I pulled them out.
Mhm.
So unless
And they're
someone
on the
else
ground
wants
as
to pick them
Yeah.
up.
Can I?
I don't think any of us should take eyes off of her at any point for the rest of our trip until we get back home.
I'm more concerned as just not touching this fang again.
I'm
Especially her.
more concerned about who are those men and how did they get there? And then how do we get home?
Well, you know what? One step at a time. Let's go deal with those guys, but I volunteer that Althea goes first.
Althea always has no problem going first when it comes to
Then
examining
fine,
things.
please do.
Are you all right, Althea?
I feel all right.
You just seemed. I don't know. I wasn't looking at you, but you did seem a little out of it.
I guess we've been in the dark underground for so long. I guess I just got a bit distracted by being out in the fresh air.
Okay.
I'm sure that the stone down in the catacombs had absolutely nothing to do with it.
I don't see why it would.
You have that now.
Yeah, but I didn't at first, and she hasn't been acting straight since then. I may not be entirely up and up with the science and things, but I can put 2 and 2 together 9 times out of 10, and she's been acting oddly strange ever since I took that rock from her. Actually, when she started grabbing it.
You tried to shoot me, and I'm the one acting strange.
Anyone else here decide to look at a pile of 6 bodies that are impaled by these giant snake fangs and decided to call it beautiful? Anyone else here decided to talk to something on their shoulder and look a little weird since we came out of a cave? Anyone else decided that they wanted to hold on to a rock instead of putting it in their pocket when they had the opportunity to do so and almost resists putting it away when I asked them to?
You're grasping at this point.
Then what do you suggest we do?
I suggest we go to the river or the lake and let Althea do her work on those bodies hanging on the fangs she so enjoys.
And at this point, Althea, of course, you hear a little voice on your shoulder say, "Oh, he's becoming a little bit unhinged. You should be very careful. His sanity might be in question."
I think it's fair to say it's been in question for some time. All right,
Sorry,
well,
what was that?
I have no problems going first, and I'm assuming everyone's fine with that, considering I haven't tried to shoot any of you, and I'm going to start making my way down the hill.
Amos, would you like to go next?
I want to actually talk to you. I want to talk to you, Amos. Hang back just a little bit.
I'll take the machete back from
Okay, yes.
Agatha and strap it back again to my bag and go on after Althea.
So Althea and Marion start heading down the hill.
I just, due to her behavior, she knows you have the stone. Why don't I take the stone? No.
Let me think on that for a little bit. With all the weird stuff that's been going on, I'm going to, realistically speaking, just talking with you, since of the group of us, you and Marion are probably the 2 I have the least beef with at this particular moment in time. Candidly speaking, I met all of you 2 days ago, if that. And now I've got one of you acting in a very questionable manner as things begin to get weirder and weirder, so I would like to at least think on keeping the stone with me for now.
Fine. But then how are we going to deal with the situation now that you have a hurt hand?
It's not my shooting hand.
That's fair. Fine.
I appreciate the concern, as I'm assuming that's what this is.
Yes. Fine. Then I'll stick too close to Althea because I don't have an injury if anything happens. How does that sound?
Go a long way.
Okay, great. We'll start going after them down.
Yes.
As we go down the hill, I didn't do this earlier, but now that I've kind of got my bearings a little bit more, I'm going to blaze the trail, so just making cuts on the odd tree as we go.
Okay. Fair enough. As Amos and Agatha finish their conversation, you do notice that Marion and Althea are almost at the bottom of the hill, and continuing to walk toward the lake, or the beachhead, whatever you prefer.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go to Marion and Althea for a second. As you come to the bottom of the hill and you're a bit closer to the bodies now, I'd like you both to make a spot hidden roll.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh, the double-edged sword.
44 out of 29 for Althea, so no.
63 out of 25. I have yet to make a spot hidden roll, I think. I haven't increased it at least.
That may not be a bad thing.
So you're only around 40 feet away from what appears to be the crucified individuals. And as you're this close, you do at least notice that it looks like what's impaled them are very similar to that snake fang.
Do we hear anything? Are there birds?
You don't hear anything.
Without touching anything, I'll go to, well, I'm assuming maybe we didn't walk down in the middle of them. We probably kind of skirted.
Well, you're
around
still
the
off a
side.
bit to the side. You're sort of just at the bottom of the hill. The lake's just in front of you, and it's trying to 40-foot little walk around, and that'll be the first
Okay.
crucified.
So when we get close enough, I'll just kind of cautiously approach the first fixture on the beach, and without touching anything, see what kind of things I might be able to determine just from a visual inspection.
So how close, my question is, how close do you want to get to the crucified, the first one?
I'd probably be okay with getting close, because I mean, it's a dead body, so, and that's not something I'm not used to
Okay.
inspecting.
Okay, fair enough. So,
In what state of decay are they in?
You do notice that it is a little bit dark now as well. As you can see storm clouds a bit rolling in. It's hard to pick out features.
I'm going to turn on one of the flashlights. Oh, no, they are all burnt dead because of the water. We don't have those anymore. We have no light.
Oh yeah, we made that makeshift torch.
Yeah, and it's out now.
Well, so basically, Marion, are you also moving with Althea toward the bodies?
Yeah, I don't want... I'll get to about... once we're about 10 feet, I'll pause and to tie a handkerchief around my face, just in case there's a smell. I'm not going to get much closer than about 5 feet.
Sure, fair enough. It's a good thing you brought that up. As you get to within 15 feet, there is an absolute bad smell. It smells like rotten meat. And at this point, also Amos and Agatha are at the bottom of the hill, and you can see your two compatriots moving toward the bodies.
So would this be a smell I would recognize as just like the decay of a corpse?
You would think that would make sense, but no. It smells like rotten meat, but not in any particular way you've smelt before. You can't really place it. It's not like a normal body decomposing. You just can't really place it. It's just assaulting your nose.
Ugh, these poor people, they've been here for a while, haven't they?
Well, I mean, I would assume if there's a smell, although I have to admit, Marion, this smell is not like any decaying corpse I've come across before.
Oh, what a magnificent smell you've all discovered.
That being said...
If this is something you're familiar with, then I don't envy you your profession. What are we trying to find out here?
Do we get to roll that spot hidden check on our way down?
No.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that my weapon is at the ready. I've made it at the ready in case there is a sudden assault of some sort.
There is an assault to your nose, but other than that,
I shoot the smell.
I attack the darkness.
I attack the darkness.
God.
I just want to get some stuff from a visual, like, can I tell the gender? Can I tell the age? Can I tell what the absolute cause of death was? Were they dead before they went up on this crucifix?
Okay.
Or,
So I'm going to sort of say that everyone is sort of at that 15-foot mark.
Yeah.
But Althea, I'm assuming you want to move closer to inspect.
Yeah, and I'm not going to, like I said, not touch anything because I don't have proper gloves on me or anything like that, but I would like to get a visual inspection going.
Okay, so as your three of you are standing back, and just the smell, you all notice Althea sort of walk a bit closer. And one thing you all sort of notice right away is they're not nailed to these crosses. There's rope, and they're tied to the crosses.
That's lovely.
Okay? Does that make sense?
Still mighty messed up.
Crucifixion's not necessarily cause of death, then.
I'm going to make notes in my notebook.
You also notice that almost in the center of the chest, it is definitely like one of those fangs that was on your back. Seems to be part way in. Not all the way through. Only part way in. Maybe only 6 inches or so pushed inside. So you can sort of see the sharp pointy end is stuck in, and the back end where there's a hole that through the center of it, that's still there. There seems to be some kind of greenish liquid sort of leaking out of the hole that's protruding, that's sticking out from the body.
I'll take out the camera and start taking
You
pictures.
still have that?
Like a little leather case that's slung into my arm.
Would I be...
Thought it would have gotten damaged in water.
Oh, it probably does. Oh, does my camera not work? I get pissed off for a second.
Be permitted to make an anthropology roll to see if I've read about or studied about or anything, any other kind of ritual sort of thing? 'Cause
Sure.
this does seem to be a ritual sort of
Sure.
thing. It's not very high, but I'm gonna try. Oh gosh, that is 97 out of 21. I don't think so, or...
At a 97, quite a prodigious roll. As you're looking, you start thinking that, I've read about something like this.
Shoot.
Some kind of, not really a ritual, but You can't really place it, but it seems like, yes, this is familiar. This makes sense to you in some context based on your training. But at this point, I would like Agatha to make a spot hidden roll. Just Agatha.
Oh, that's an 84 out of 60.
Yes, you see nothing. Yeah.
Dang.
You do
What a
know.
night. What a night.
Don't know.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. You do notice that seems like the body's completely slumped, and the head is down. It is male, but as you quickly glance along, they're around 6 to, let's say they're around 10 feet apart. These posts all the way up the bridgehead, but you can see that there seems to be 3 women and 3 men.
Oh.
And they're alternating. So this one's a man, the next one's a woman, the next one's a man, the next
That
one's a
seems
woman.
awfully
What's their clothing
particular.
like?
It just seems to be regular
Like
farmers' clothes. Yeah, that seems what it looks like more than anything else.
Do we recognize any of them? Like,
No.
is any of them Skeet?
No, you
I wanted to check.
you do not see the coveralls and the bare chest and all this other stuff. Yeah, you don't really see anything like that.
While they're investigating, I'm going to keep an eye on the tree line.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So to get anything else, would I have to make a forensics roll? Like if I wanted to notice anything more about the state of their decay?
That would be more of a medicine roll. Forensic roll would be a little bit different information,
Okay. All right.
if that would make sense.
Yep.
Like, yeah. Which
I can
would
do
you?
a medicine roll?
While she's rolling that, can I guess, would it be a spot hidden to see if there's a building or a path or something nearby?
Sure. I'll get you to roll this one.
I have a 9 out of 61.
Okay, put a tick in medicine.
Nice.
So as you get, and that's an extreme success, I'm pretty sure, because as you get a little bit close and you're looking, you get a little bit of a fright as you see the body take a breath. You see the chest rise up.
Oh dear God!
What?
And I back up.
I
Like
aim at
immediately
whatever she's
start
looking at.
backing up.
What's the success of Mary's?
64 out of 25. No.
I think this man might still be alive.
What?
What? How?
And I think he's breathing. And I'm gonna say the doctor part of me is keeping in character. The doctor part of me would probably move forward to aid, because if this person's alive, we don't want to leave them up on a crucifix.
I'm going to run up. I'm not going to touch the body yet, but I'm going to get closer. Like get right up to where Althea is.
And I'll probably just see if I can take a really close look to see if there's any other signs of life. And if I see other signs of life, then I will probably try to start untying the rope that's at the feet of the...
Well, I'll just go back to that extreme medicine check, just to use that.
Okay.
As you sort of go a little bit closer, and you look, and the person seems to be breathing, but very seldom. So it's a breath, and then 10 or 15 seconds, and the chest rises up again. And then around 10 or 15 seconds, chest rises up again.
So the chest is rising, and it does look like breath.
Yeah, you're not really too experienced with looking at people being crucified and being in that position and how they breathe. But it looks like it could be the person's alive because they're moving.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, okay, so they are alive.
I'm going to start...
To her, she thinks.
I'm gonna...
Okay.
Yeah, if there's a chance this person is alive, and I can't leave them up here, and I'm going to start trying to untie the ropes that are at the
Do
bottom.
I notice anything?
As you're there, you do notice when she's pointing out that the person's breathing that, yeah, you do see the...
I'm going to take a machete to the spike in their chest.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a suggestion. Do we have a mirror and put it under her nose? Is there any possible way that we can do that to check if there is actual breath?
I got a lens in my pocket from a camera that doesn't
Yeah.
work.
Can we?
Can we actually reach that
Yeah.
high, or someone can reach that high, just to see if there is actually some sort of breath or thing?
Who's the tallest among us?
So at this point, I'm assuming
I'm
you
actually
haul out your
short.
machete, but you're not going to knock.
If someone stops me, I'll stop.
Yeah.
But
I'm not going to
pulling out
stop
a
her.
machete.
I'm gonna stop you.
What?
Let's just make sure if it's still alive.
Here,
Althea
Althea.
says
I come on up.
that he is.
I've got the gun up
She's
and
the
I
doctor.
take out the lens. I'm like, Althea, here, at least just double check. And I hand her the lens.
All right, and I will just try getting it up there.
Okay. As you get close and you start rising up, you hear a little voice once again from your shoulder, sort of draw your attention away. And you all notice this now because it's apparent to you that even though Althea may seem to be doing everything fluidly, every now and then she completely looks like she's in a daze. She stops what she's doing and she looks at her shoulder. Even though to her, it seems like she's being fluid in what she's doing.
I'll just kind of look at Agatha and kind of be like, I think I rest my case.
I sort of nudge Amos and go, maybe it's your lens. You should do this.
Well, I'm not getting near that guy.
Psychology? Or can I spout some psychology?
You could roll a psychoanalysis.
Psychoanalysis? That would probably
Yeah.
That makes more sense. Dang it, 85 out of 51.
Ooh, those are some high rolls for Agatha so far
I'm gonna
tonight.
die.
As Althea, you hear a little voice saying, I don't think you should get this close. I don't think you should get this close.
Okay, and I'll immediately just drop back a few steps.
What's wrong?
Oh, what was wrong? Was he not dead enough for you?
I just don't think it's a good idea to get this close, maybe?
That's a sudden change of
I
heart.
mean, are you sure?
Why not?
Well, because Montgomery said not to. Montgomery said not to.
Oh, two hands are on my gun, and it's fully pointed at her.
Montgomery.
This is probably not a good time for guns.
And just as that's happening, all of a sudden the chest of the person, of the male that's up on the crucifix, it starts jumping up and down. You can see the chest just like really heavy breathing as it's
On just the one?
on just that one. Yeah.
Like it looks like he's breathing, or it looks
Yeah,
like
like
something in
re-
his chest.
Yeah, roll a medicine roll.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Well, didn't think I was gonna get it, but it's a 91 out of 1.
Yeah.
I'm just
so
assuming it's just weird. I don't like it. I'm not even going to roll for
it
it.
seems to see that it's just really extreme heavy breathing, except for the fact that you also notice that it looks like his throat seems to be widening out, as if something's pushing its way from the inside.
All right, everybody, back up.
Yeah,
I just grab anyone who's
I-
close to me and I start pulling.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
start back.
yeah.
I won't be
And
resisting.
I want to train my weapon at this.
My gun's
whatever.
pointed right at it.
Yeah.
So is the machete. I already had it out.
Can I have the other one?
Nope.
No. All right.
Now you can keep Montgomery. Was it? Yeah, he'll keep you safe.
Well,
I'll just use my super
if-
sharp wit. I'm sorry.
I need to know how far away all of you are. How far did you jump?
I'm
back?
taking this back like 15 feet.
I was gonna say 15.
Yeah.
because it jumped in my head.
I would
so-
say when I originally backed up, it was probably no more than 5 feet, but then they pulled me back away during that time. So, however far they pulled me.
12 to 15 feet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, as you move back around 15 feet or so, you can see that where the throat was stretching out, it seems to be receding back down, and the breathing seems to be getting slower and slower and less pronounced.
God. That's not normal, obviously.
No
Sorry.
shit.
There's something in. I don't. Yeah, that's not something that happens. He can't still be alive with that. There's
I don't think
A creature in like a rat living in him, or a...
Did anyone else notice that when I grabbed the fang, I got barbs that went into my hand that you pulled out?
Well,
Does anyone see that these 6 poor bastards have giant, similarly sized fangs embedded in their chests?
That's fair, but it hardened like bone in your hand. That looks something more organic. I don't know.
I had a giant eagle head thrown at me earlier.
Like
We got
this.
chased by a weird little dangly hand thing. You know what? Maybe for me it turned into bones. Maybe for this guy it turned into worms. I don't know.
I think it's most likely
But the fangs are fucking weird.
I think it's most likely that they're unrelated, but whatever's inside him is trying to get out, and I don't think we want it near us.
It only look. Oh shit! Sorry. It just looks like it was a defense thing. We got close to it, and it wanted to emerge. Let's not get close to it. How's that sound for everyone?
I could just shoot it.
Right, and then open up a cavity for this thing to get out. Even
Okay,
faster.
I'll light him on fire. That works.
Really? Does
Good.
everything lighting on fire work for you?
Well,
Not normally.
Then let's not do that.
All right,
can't
what
just
would you like to do?
Leave.
we can't
I
just
want
leave
to
these people.
leave. I don't think they're alive.
They're still people. There were at one point.
They were at one point, but what can we do right now? The most logical explanation is to go somewhere, get help, and come back.
The closest
Personally-
to a Christian burial we can give them might be a pyre.
Oh, Christian burial. Well, personally, I would like to know Montgomery's opinion on the situation. Please, Althea, let us know what Montgomery thinks we should do with these 6 poor bastards.
I don't think that's relevant. If whatever she's going through, I think it's...
Oh, let's let her ask.
And I'd like everyone to make a listen roll.
Oh, God. I don't know why I like this.
59 out of 20 for Althea.
15. Actually, I also got a 59 out of 65 for me.
16 out of 50.
96 out of 33.
Okay. So the two of you, Amos and Agatha, who've made your listen checks, you can put a tick next to listen.
Oh,
And-
and mine too.
You succeeded, correct?
Right, yes.
Yeah. And you can hear sounds of something moving around as you look back at sort of like the tree line on the other side of the beach. You can hear the sounds of something. It's hard to explain, just the sounds of something moving around.
Oh, whipped around with the gun. Gun's looking.
Yeah, you can just hear. It sort of sounds.
Like shuffling?
Yeah, it sort
Nice
of
spot
sounds.
hidden.
All you can really see at the moment is the trees. Actually, yes, roll a spot hidden check, but it will be a hard spot hidden check.
Okay. A 83 out of 15, or 83 out of 18 is not a pass.
And that's a spot hidden?
Well, what's your spot hidden?
You said hard, right?
Oh, yes. There we go.
18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I try?
Sure, go right ahead. Anyone who wants to make a hard spot hidden roll can make that roll now.
Even if we didn't hear anything?
Only people who heard it.
I got actually, so it would be a 10 out of 61, so that would be an extreme, because my extreme is 15.
Yeah, so you get
Wow.
a tick on spot hidden if you don't already have it. Wow, that's some extreme rolls here tonight.
That's good.
You do notice that it looks like there's drag marks from the beach leading into the direction where the noise seems to be coming from.
Any specific place on the beach that they're dragged marks to? Like, is it from one of the posts?
It's
or-
not from one of the posts. You can just see that off to the side, and it's not even from the lake, but from another direction. It seems like somebody or something was dragged off into the woods there. You do notice that with an extreme spot hidden.
There might be a survivor.
What?
Well, I can see there's drag marks heading off to, because you heard that sound, right?
What sound?
Don't keep your eyes out. Don't take your eyes off of the stakes, and I kind of start going along the path that she points out.
Yeah,
I go with him. You shouldn't be alone.
I'm not going to debate that. All right.
Take up either, I
Yeah, I'm
guess. Because I don't want to split off from them.
Sure. Okay. Oh, okay. Yes. We can we can go.
Are you sure you're okay? When have you started seeing this thing?
Seeing what thing?
Montgomery.
He's been here the whole time. What are you talking about?
Oh. Okay.
As you're discussing on the beach, we'll go over to Marion and Amos, who are heading toward the tree line.
So I'm guessing you're looking forward. I'm gonna be basically my head's on a swivel, looking back in both sides.
As Amos, you get over to the tree line, you sort of look in, and you notice that it only goes in maybe 5 or 10 feet, and there's just a little tiny clearing. And it looks like there's you can see some wooden stuff, like there's a couple little shacks that are kind of made. There's like 2 little shacks, like little cabins in just on the inside of the clearing. You couldn't really see them through the tree line from your previous vantage point. But you do notice that in the center of this little clearing, there seems to be another cross. And tied to the cross seems to be Skeet.
Christ.
And
Skeet!
he seems to have sort of a gag around his mouth, and he seems to be struggling.
Is there a
Take it
fang
for-
in his chest?
No, there is not.
I run up and I cut the bonds on his wrists.
I keep the gun trained on like around the edges of this clearing, just making sure nothing runs at us.
Okay, as we go back to Agatha and Althea, who you were sort of still talking, you both notice Marion run into the trees.
So Montgomery's been here most of the... Marion, where are you going?
Do I hear her say that? Because I'm.
Yeah, you hear her.
not really
You
been-
hear her called out.
We got Skeet.
What?
He's tied up.
I would
then-
assume we would
yeah,
run out
we would do
because
the
she
same.
probably wants to help.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
do I.
so yeah, Agatha and Althea also run up through the tree line with Marion. Are you staying a little bit back with the gun aimed, Amos?
No, I'll stick with
Sure.
Marion. Yeah, I'm like she's gonna climb up the cross. I'll be at the base of the cross, just making sure that I'm keeping an eye on the edge of the woods.
Yeah.
I trust she can cut down a dude.
Yeah.
So as you all sort of move on in, and Marion, you run up and you start releasing the bond. Soon as Skeet's eyes sort of rests on you, seems to quiet down a little bit, stop struggling a little bit. He's like,
We got you.
and he seems to be sort of with his fingers trying to point at his bonds, like you don't already know. As you start
Yeah.
removing the bonds
Yeah,
from his
Cut
hands.
him down.
Yeah, so as you cut the ropes that are tying onto his right hand, he just reaches forward and pulls down the gag. Lord Jesus! Get me out of this contraption here! Get me out of this contraption, this is not fit!
We'll get you
He
down.
seems to be angry, you haven't seen him angry. Not fit, I tells you, not fit!
That's okay. We'll get you down.
As furthest from fit as there ever was!
Cut him the rest of the way
Yeah,
down.
yeah, and he's sort of rubbing his
understand
wrists,
that.
and he's like, "We need to get out of here. We can't stay sticking around here.
How did you
This
get
is
here?
just
What
not-
happened?
I was like that pointy fella, and we dragged through the woods, and they tied me to this cross, and
Sorry, a pointy fella.
pointy fella, he's wearing some kind of coat with spikes sticking out of it. A weird, funky guy. Must be part of one of those, vaudeville. I don't know what to tell you. About it.
Vaudeville.
He has his pointy coat and his spikes sticking.
How many people were there?
Oh, I only saw him and one other feller. He looked like Joe Bat. He lived in town. He looked a little bit like Joe Bat, except his face was, gray. I don't know. And they dragged me here and they tied me to a cross. Well, I was knocked out and.
Did you see how they got here? Do you know the way out?
Well, I drove them here, and then they dragged me here from the old Corbett farmstead there, and they dragged me here because I.
Skeet, we don't know which direction is the way out. Do you remember which direction they took you to get here?
Well, we're at Drumwick Pond. So yeah, it should be easy enough to get away. But we got to get out of here
Okay,
before.
you lead us.
Yeah, because
Let's
they're
go.
Yeah. They're all out right now. See, they're looking for the stone. So.
Which stone? What stone?
Oh, some kind of big
Let's
stone they're
go
looking for.
while
Some
we're
kind of big
talking.
stone
Let's
they're
go.
looking for.
Yeah, we're walking and talking, I assume.
So I have a
We
question.
can do that.
Skeet tries to take a step and then falls.
Oh,
And then he falls down because all of his muscles are
Oh.
Yeah.
sore. He can't.
Althea,
I'm gonna-
I'll take one side of him.
He can seems to walk, but it's like pins and needles. Everything's
I'll
just
take
like-
his left arm so I can keep my right hand on my gun.
And I'm just gonna have my weapon at the ready, continuing.
I'm gonna
just
take your
keeping my
spot.
nose here.
So when we were at
Oh,
Corbett
because you have a
Farmstead, the car did end up with some of its tires, or all of its tires.
Half
Blown.
One side.
One side of its tires being slashed and unusable. So, question is are we making our way back to the Corbett farmstead, to a car that we cannot currently use?
And a road that we can walk down.
Yes, but we also left some very interesting folk back at the Corbett farmstead.
Who might be gone by now? The point is, it's a direction.
What is the closest route to town?
Well, yeah, I guess. Well, what we need to do is we need to go up the hill, up over by the lake. We need to go up the hill, and then we should be able to find one of the old walking paths, and then that'll take us either to the closer would be the Corbett farmstead, but we could also start heading toward Swills Gullet as well.
So the farmstead is closest.
The farmstead is closest to us.
So why don't we head nearby, scout it out, determine, the threat level, and then move on from the city to the town either with or without the car?
How far off the path? Like, if we decided to go to this path where it's not the Corbett farmstead, how far off is the Corbett farmstead from this path? Like, is it a huge detour that's going to take longer if we decide to? Does that make sense?
Well, just at the moment, the Corbett farmstead's pretty close. Once we get up over the hill and we walk a little bit, but I mean, Swills Gullet would be significantly further away. It all depends on where we want to go. And just as he's talking, you hear a loud crack of thunder as these storm clouds I mentioned earlier, and you can feel a little bit of rain coming down. But you also, I'll need to roll me a Constitution check.
We haven't eaten today.
Dang.
35 out of 70. So that's actually my hard.
53 out of 55 for Althea.
10 out of 80. That's extreme.
22 out of 75.
Oh,
That's hard.
you all succeeded because you also all start hearing a loud keening noise. Not really screaming, but this loud, steady sort of drone. It sort of reminds you of the big rock covered with insects at the Montgomery farmstead.
Where's it coming from?
Seems to be coming from the lake, that direction. And it seems to be cutting through you, but none of you seem to be, like, none of your eardrums pop or nothing really like that. But it's similar, but not the same. But it's just really loud, more drone than electricity sounding.
Yeah.
All right.
Had enough of that sound.
Yeah,
Let's pick up the pace.
Yeah, let's go. I'm
Up the hill?
up for going. Yeah, I guess that's the only direction to both paths, right?
Yes, perhaps it is definitely time for us to get out of here.
I guess
Skeet,
we'll take the lead while two people carry Skeet.
tell us
I'll
which
take the
way to
rear.
go. Yeah,
Makes sense.
I'll help carry Skeet.
Yeah.
So Althea's carrying Skeet, who's this?
I'm helping.
And Marion's. So each of you are on each shoulder, while Agatha and Amos are sort of moving ahead.
I'm taking up the rear.
Oh, that's fine. So yeah, Agatha's in the rear with her shotgun, I believe.
No,
Rifle, her Lee
it's
Enfield.
A Lee Enfield.
Her Lee Enfield.
Very much.
Yeah. As you start back sort of the way you came to pass by the lake, to go up the hill, which is where Skeet's taking you. Oh, we gotta get out of here. Boy, that doesn't sound good. Anything sounds like that doesn't sound good at all.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We need to get out of here. Nobody comes around this Drumwick Lake. Cursed it is, cursed!
Okay, Skeet, you got it. You got to be
As he
calm.
stood.
A little bit calm.
Come, woman, come!
Can I,
The
Yeah,
lake
but we
is
can't make
cursed.
another
Is there
sound.
anywhere in this
Can I
county
roll?
that isn't cursed?
can I roll a psychology roll to try to calm him down and say, we're getting out. It's okay. We're going to get out of here.
Psychoanalysis.
Like, that's psychoanalysis? Oh.
Yeah. Psychology is more used for sense motive.
Can I do persuade?
Yes, you can definitely use persuade.
22 out of 35.
You can put a tick next to persuade. As what would you like to say to him?
Just, we're getting out of here, Skeet. You don't ever have to come back here again. We're going to get you out. We're going
Yes.
to get you back home
Okay.
and back to Swills Gullet. You'll be just fine.
Yes, I need to move away from this place. This place is getting creepy.
Absolutely. We're going to get away as quickly
Town of one. Who wants to live in a town of one? This is ridiculous.
Yep, I for one do not want to be living
So you-
living in Swills Gullet.
So he seems to be quite calmed down as you start heading out. And I believe Amos is leading.
Yeah.
So Amos, as soon as you crest through the trees, and I mean you're not taking the exact same path because it's sort of a little bit off, but you will still have a view of the lake. Maybe a little 30 feet or so away from your original path. He's not going to walk you right toward where the noise is. But as you're walking along and you look over, you can see that all the 6 bodies on the crosses seem to be struggling, moving, trying to break free.
With their arms around?
Yes, their whole bodies are sort of moving, trying to break free. And all their heads seem to be rose up to the heavens, and you can see the rain coming down on them as they're screaming, but they're not screaming a normal noise. They're screaming this weird, the sound you're hearing is from these bodies. This droning, constant...
Sounds like a chant.
It sort of sounds like a chant, but as you're looking, you do notice there seems to be something starting to protrude from their mouths, and their jaws seem to be becoming unhinged, and you can see something sort of pushing through. At this moment, Amos, what would you like to do?
How far away were we from this?
You're around 30 feet away from the first one.
I look at the rest of you guys and I say...
They don't see it yet because you're in the lead.
Yeah, but as I look back at them and they're about to come on out, we need to pick up the pace. Just don't look at the beach for too long. Run. And start hustling up the pace a bit. Just keep moving.
I glance back at the beach because
I imagine I would also do so.
I'm also
Could
going
you roll a sanity check?
Yes, actually,
Yeah?
I'm going to require Amos
Okay.
to roll a sanity check at this
Players asking to roll sanity check.
point. No, I was going to be calling for this one.
40 out of 75.
40 out of 75. You seem... Okay, this seems creepy, but you seem to be falling into your professionalism of, okay, we got to get going, blah, blah, blah. I need to ask Amos a very important question. Now, you told them not to look. Are you going to keep looking?
No, I'm going to stay in front of everybody and keep on hustling away.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Realistically, if we're seeing this, no, everybody look back at everybody. Don't look at the beach. Just keep running, and then I will hustle in the direction that Skeet is putting us on at the pace that I would like everyone to keep up with.
Okay, fair enough. So I'm gonna, so as Amos is pushing everyone along, I also Skeet, when you say to him, say to all of you, Skeet immediately replies, "Well, you're the boss boy. I'll listen to you. I'm not looking at it. This place is weird. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Oh God, Swills Gullet was such a nice place to live."
Bless it.
Yeah. As you,
man.
Amos seems to be cutting a swath through, but the three, of course, Agatha and Marion and Althea, you all look over and notice the same thing, but you're going to notice something a little bit more.
Oh no!
First off,
What did I just say?
I'm going to go to Agatha last.
Oh.
But Althea and Marion, you notice that there seemed... Do you remember when you found the deer carcass and there was that large white slug thing? Well, that's what you see protruding out of the mouths and sort of swaying. And there's this greenish little liquid that seems to be pooling off of it a little. And you can see it just... And the jaw seems to be unhinged on the bodies that are hung up and broken down like a snake's jaw. And it seems to be out. But what you do notice is these slug-like things, they seem to be slit down the middle. And they seem to be spread back. And all you can see from the closest one are these rows of teeth. And it seems to be flapping, and the noise is coming from them. And it's going to be different for Agatha.
Of course it is.
But Althea and Marion get to make a sanity roll, and it's going to be a worse potential for loss when it comes to seeing this.
31 out of 77 for Althea.
15 out of 63.
Damn!
Okay.
I'm focused way too much on keeping Skeets calm.
So you each lose 1 sanity.
Okay.
With a successful.
Run! Hustle!
Agatha,
Yes.
as you're looking, you do notice to a point you like sort of scan over, but what you do notice is out on the lake. You remember that you had a vision.
Yes.
And you're looking out on the lake, and you can see out in the center of the lake, it starts to bubble. And you can see what looks to be, it looks like something is coming out of the lake, rising up from the bottom. You can't really pick it out yet, but you can see this massive.
You could see the water just
doing
that thing. Yeah, okay.
And it's and you do notice that it sort of looks like. Roll me a spot hidden, actually. Roll me a spot hidden. You might want to make this one.
Oh shit, 99.
Oh, so you did
out
fail.
Of 61.
You did fail. That's actually a really good one to fail.
Yes.
I do require you to make a sanity roll as well. On top of that, but.
Oh my god.
44 out of 66.
Yeah, you do lose one sanity as well, and it's mostly because of the immense.
Just the sheer size of this thing?
The sheer size of this thing. As Amos seems to be hurrying you all along.
Does anybody slow down at this point? Is anyone getting slow?
No, I'm just gonna say, Skeet, do you feel that you're able to run yet?
Oh, I don't know. I could try.
How are your legs feeling? Because I feel we need to move
It feels a little bit numb, boy, but I can run.
That's okay. We'll stay with you for a little while longer. Let you get your legs back.
I need to ask everyone again. Do you want to continue to look?
Nope.
Yes.
Does she noticeably slow down or stop?
Yeah, something immediately is gonna happen because of this. So.
Oh Jesus!
I will describe what Agatha sees, but I would like to do the sanity check first.
Okay.
For what you see.
I'm gonna fail this. 15 out of 65.
Okay.
Oh no!
So I'm just gonna read out a little quote.
This is the monster from the lake that I'm looking at. Continuing, right? Yes. Okay.
Congratulations, Agatha. You're the first one to see a completely proper mythos.
Oh my god!
Thing.
Okay.
I'm just gonna read out a description. Okay. It's the inhabitant of the lake. It's from a particular story. From an oval body protruded countless thin, pointed spines of multicolored metal. At the more rounded end of the oval, a circular, thick-lipped mouth formed the center of a spongy face, from which rose 3 yellow eyes on thick stalks. Around the underside of the body were many white pyramids, presumably used for locomotion. The diameter of the body must have been 10 feet at its least wide. Long stalks were twisting above it, the shape towered, pulsing, shaking with deafening vibration. A spine, as all the spines, the fangs, all over its back, twisting.
Oh, no way.
It is massive. I need you to roll me a D8 on a saved sanity roll.
Wow. Holy shit.
Okay.
So you need to roll a D8 and tell me how much sanity you lose.
Oh god, fuck. 7!
Oh no!
Hey,
You're still above 50.
No, that's not good.
So you lose.
That's not good.
You lose 7 sanity, which throws you into the case of a bout of madness, a temporarily insane moment. As I need you.
Sorry, I
to
just had to do
roll.
some math to figure it out. I apologize.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
I need you to roll me a D10.
What? For what?
For your bout of madness.
Oh my god!
We're gonna see how it manifests in you. The other aspect is,
Good knowing
of
you,
course,
Agatha.
just as you're staring at this immense creature,
Yeah.
you hear a word in your head. You're not sure what it means. But all you hear, and it doesn't even sound like, your inner voice. It doesn't sound like that. But all you hear is Glacky.
Kalake?
Glacky.
Glacky. Okay, so I'm rolling this, right?
You're rolling a D10 for me.
8!
Keep rolling high.
Okay, so as you're moving toward tree line,
So how's
and
Montgomery doing?
well, let's take care because this is bad. So what happens is, as you just start getting to the hill to move up, and Amos leading gets to the hill. Skeet had not looked back. Marion and Althea moving toward it. You all start hearing laughter. Crazy, emotional, hysterical laughter. Screaming out from behind you in a voice that could vaguely sounds like Agatha. Who is, but is anyone turning back?
I turn around, looking in that direction, holding up the machete. Mm-hmm. So if I turn too quickly, and you're how close behind me are you?
I would say that I probably lagged, so I must be 10 feet behind.
Yeah,
as we're about to go up the hill, because I'm in front, like I'm constantly looking back to make sure everyone's following. The thing I was going to say earlier is if I notice that somebody stops, I'm going to go back for them.
Mm-hmm. So but she had not stopped until this very moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to turn around, acknowledge that, go behind you two carrying Skeet, and say, just keep on going, and then I'm going to run after her, after Agatha.
Yeah.
So Agatha, to make this simple, I just need you to act your character as completely hysterically can't stop laughing.
Can't stop laughing.
Can't stop laughing. You are not yourself.
Can I say the word?
Oh, that's the only word you can say.
That's the only. Okay, that's what I was gonna say. All right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. But as Amos.
I'll not be near the mic.
Okay. So Amos, of course, as you move toward her, and I'll let you guys play this out for now.
What the? Like shaking her.
Amos, just bring her. Just drag her along. We gotta keep moving.
Can I roll a psychology check or something to like calm her down?
You can roll. I'll let you roll a psychology check.
Agatha, you have to keep moving.
69 out of 35. What's that happen?
So 1 second, Marion, did you go back with Amos?
No, I'm still trying to.
Are you guys continuing to move on?
We're continuing on, but I'm kind of looking back, yelling at her.
I'm going to smack her. Just full on, just crack her back to consciousness. If I can. Is it a brawl check or something, or?
Yeah, it's a fighting brawl. And then I'm going to sort of say something that your character does after he does this. Not taking away your player agency.
Okay.
But there's something that you would do.
Okay.
Oh,
Can we continue laughing or just wait?
You'll continue laughing while you do it.
Oh God, that's a 99.
A 99 on your psychology.
No, on my slapping her.
On your slapping her?
Yeah, I failed the psychology check too, but.
Yeah. So what happened is you tried to slap her and you forgot too late. You slapped her with your bad hand.
Oh! That's fair.
As you hit it off the Lee Enfield rifle she's holding, of course.
Son of a.
And actually, I'm not going to take away player agency. Agatha, at this point, your character would try to point out what you've seen.
Oh, okay.
Is my point.
Okay, I'm still laughing.
Yes.
Glacky! I'm pointing in the direction of the lake.
Can I hear sounds from the lake?
Yes.
I'm not.
Willpower roll.
Oh.
I mean, usually if
That's fair.
there's lots of noises and stuff, and somebody's pointing over, I would call for a willpower.
Yeah.
Just because you might just glance, you could stop yourself.
Is that under power?
Yeah, that's power. Sorry, willpower is power.
16 out of 80.
Oh,
So that's my extreme
you
threshold.
managed to stop yourself from looking in that direction.
I shake her from the shoulders one more time, and if she continues laughing and glacky, I'm just going to try and pick her up and just hustle her towards where the others are.
Okay. Fighting
Amos, hurry!
brawl. Yeah, fighting brawl.
Is that fighting brawl?
Fighting brawl. It's like a fighting grapple skill. It's the
Yeah.
same percentage,
Makes
25.
sense. 81 out of 40.
Yeah, the problem is that she's being so hysterical and moving around so much that she's hard to grab a hold of.
I'm really shaking probably because I'm laughing so hard. I'm almost probably like busting a gut.
Yeah.
So.
How does pushing the roll work again?
You just need to make the same roll that you did.
But if I
But
fail,
if you
it's bad.
fail, there's usually a bad effect.
Do it. What can go wrong?
I'm trying to get her out of here, and that would legit. If I fail the first time because she's squirming, I would try and force it to happen again. She hasn't physically resisted yet, has she?
She's not
Okay.
physically resisting at all. She's
Yeah,
just
I would push that.
I'm still standing.
You are.
Right? Yeah, like I
But you-
haven't collapsed to the
No,
floor.
no, you're just
So I'm
you're just
still like in a
yeah, but
range.
you're erratically moving and laughing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Would I be able to try and so no matter which of the two things I do, it's going to be a push roll because I failed them, right?
It depends if you're trying something different other than a fighting skill. Although we have had our first case of a bout of madness.
I'll try psychology one more time.
Okay, so that's not technically a pushed roll, so it'll just be a psychology roll.
Okay. So it'll be my last one, and then if this
Yeah.
fails, I will push the brawling. Try and talk sense into you. 74 out of 35. No.
Glacky.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna just try and throw her over my shoulder and fireman carry her out of there. All right.
Sure.
7%.
Yeah. So
out of if that's important.
you can
out
put
of
a tick next to
40.
fighting brawl.
Okay.
My
My extreme is 8. Does that
as you
matter?
manage to grab her
Yeah,
and start
over the shoulder.
you just over your shoulder, and you still continue laughing quite loudly. But as you're pulling and you look back, and not over at the lake, I'm not going to do that to you. But you do notice that the bodies that were on the crosses, because just as you're pulling, there's just something you
Yeah.
notice. They're on the ground
Oh, Jesus.
right now, and they're on all fours, and it seems like it's weird how their bodies. It's almost like wolf-like, the way
Pulling a moment out of
they're
the
on all fours on the ground, and you can you see one just sort of look over in your direction. It just looks like a normal human face, except the jaw is broken, and it's just this gaping black hole where their mouth is, and there's just this.
Oh God. Okay.
As you're still laughing hysterically.
I try to yell over her towards you three, whether I see you or not.
Yeah.
Just be like, fucking hoof it!
Just
Run!
We hear him, then we're.
Yeah.
And we'll start running out and say, you know, Marion, I've seen a lot of weird things, but I think this officially is something I am not curious to find out more about.
Yeah, as the rat on your shoulder sort of looks like, yeah, this is really weird.
I I'll be able to say, I know, right? Like, this is like the weirdest thing we've ever seen.
I don't know who she's talking to. Whatever. Let's get out of here. And you see Skeet as you're holding them up a bit. His legs are starting kicking as he shakes free, and you just see him start running to the woods.
And at that, Althea's running full tilt as well.
How you doing?
Fucking legging it.
This is no time for your imaginary friend.
I'm gone. Dust in the wind.
Yeah. And as Amos, you get this renewed bout of strength. I'd also just like to say that willpower roll, my friend. Amos, that's a good willpower roll to make.
It would have been
Right.
down to
Congrats,
me and Marianne.
Yes.
Both of the people with guns would have been toast.
Yeah.
If
Two-
Skeet was the survivor.
To be fair, I know I'm taken away from the game, but to be fair, a failed roll on that sanity check would have been 1d20 sanity loss.
Holy crap.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Well,
I thought a D10 was bad.
would that mean if it
Or
was like the
820.
third person would have been like a D30 roll or something like that?
Anyway, let's continue with the game. Althea and her crazy talk.
Alright.
As you've all ran to the point where it's impossible to look back and see the lake
Yeah.
at this
Thankfully.
moment. You can still hear that screaming coming from behind. Ah! And it seems to be sort of keeping pace.
Yeah, run.
Yeah, yeah.
Run for the car and get in the car and close the doors.
Further away, am I getting better?
Yes. What's happened is, as you're just running along for maybe a minute, Agatha, you sort of snap out of your laughing fit. You seem a little bit dizzy, and the last thing you remember is helping is seeing Skeet tied to the cross. That's sort of the last thing you sort of remember. Everything else seems a little bit hazy. As you notice that you're on Amos's shoulder and he seems to be running through the woods.
What's happening? What's happening?
I'm
Why
running,
am
and
I
you're
on
on my
your
shoulder.
shoulder?
Because you weren't able to run yourself. So this is where we're at now. Just
Put me down.
All right, as long as you keep on running, because there are things behind us. And trying my best not to slow down too much. I'm going to put her on her feet and then kind of grab her by the wrist and to get her up to speed.
That makes sense
Run on
because
her
I'm
own.
probably disoriented.
Yep. And we're at the moment. What is Althea and Marion's movement? What is your movements?
Minus 8.
Where's that? Oh, there. 8.
Okay, so you're both well in the lead. Skeet, on the other hand, seems to be just a little further than you two. He seems to be quite quick on his feet when he needs to be. And up ahead, I hear, "No sir, I don't like it. No sir, I don't like it." As he's just running through the woods.
Good old Skeet boy, leaving the women behind.
Thank you for listening to this Twisted Gear Studios production. Our next episode of The Call will air Tuesday, March 12th. Tuesday, March 5th is the next episode of Spacers, our Starfinder podcast. And this Friday, March 1st, is the next episode of our collaboration podcast with MacGuffin Media, The Legend of Xingdong. The game system used today was the Call of Cthulhu 7th edition by Chaosium. Music in this episode was licensed by Video Copilot. Sound effects and ambient tracks licensed through Triune Films, Video Copilot, and Sirenscape. You can find all of Twisted Gear Studios' podcasts on YouTube, Google Play, Apple Music, and Spotify. Please follow and like Twisted Gear Studios on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at The Twisted Gear. Your players this evening were Janessa Coles, Lindsay Delansky, Zach Barrett, and Elizabeth Wells. Your audio operator was Rob Hickey, and your GM, or keeper this evening, was Derek Snow. If you happen to be in the Fort McMurray area, you can find me at Tavern on Main every Monday at 7:30 p.m. for trivia. Have a good night, everyone, and we'll see you next time.